Hi, Blake here with EN Computers. Today I'm answering the question, what is a replay-resistant authentication mechanism? Now this term is mentioned in both NIST 800-171 and the CMMC cybersecurity standards under the identification and authentication families. NIST, it is control number 3.5.4, and CMMC, it is number IA 3.084. So what does this term mean, and why is it mentioned in both of these standards? Well, let's break it down. First of all, it's an authentication mechanism. That means it's a way for a system or a network to make sure that a user or a device is who they say they are. Now, what does it mean for an authentication mechanism to be replay resistant? Well, a replay attack is where network traffic is captured and then reused to spoof that authentication. In essence, allowing the attacker to trick the system into thinking that they are someone else who needs access to that system. Now, it's illustrated very well, actually, in the movie The Bourne Ultimatum. Let's take a look at this scene late in the film.
No, Wilson.
So here, Jason Bourne tricks Vosen into saying the password for the safe in his office. Now, what does Jason do with that recording a few minutes later?
No, Wilson.
As he plays it back into the safe doesn't know that it's a recording and allows him access to the secret CIA documents. Now, essentially the same thing can happen on networks with certain older authentication protocols, things like NT-LAN Manager, NTLM. If the password hash or the network handshake for these protocols is captured by an attacker, it can then be replayed. It can be used again to give the attacker access into the system. Now, modern authentication protocols such as Kerberos are replay resistant. They include a time-based mechanism that makes sure that the authentication handshake happened recently. It wasn't a recording of network traffic that's being replayed. And so by including that in the protocol, it is replay resistant. Now, the problem comes in when old protocols such as NTLM are still enabled and they're still allowed to be used for authentication to the system. An attacker can then trick the system into using that older protocol. Then they can carry out the replay attack and gain access to the system. So in order to be compliant with this requirement, you need to make sure that you're only using modern cryptographic protocols and authentication methods that are supported and known to be replay resistant. You need to disable these older protocols so they can't be used for a replay attack. Now, if you need help with this or any of the other CMMC or NIST 800-171 controls, feel free to contact us here at EN Computers, and we'd be happy to give you a free consultation. Thanks for watching.